Hello and welcome to a small talk on different learning styles. Have you ever wondered why some students learn much better than the others from the classroom lectures, while some others learn very well from YouTube broadcasts or even audio or different types of learning? Concept was developed in 1987 by Neil Fleming. And why is it important for you as a parent, a teacher, trainer, or as a simple individual who wants to learn something more? The first type of learners are called visual learners. Visual learners learn from graphics, pictures, observation. They're called visual learners. They're highly influenced by the eyes. Now these people prefer learning through diagrams, posters, videos, PowerPoint sessions, or maps, charts, or demonstrations. These are the ones which are very useful for them. The second type of learners are called auditory learners. In this type of learners, the learner prefers by listening to things or storytelling or speaking. These are the elements in which these people learn much more. It is also important to know that these people love discussions because they like speaking and hearing to others. That these kind of modes of learning concepts will work very well for this auditory learners. Now that comes to the third types of learners called reading, writing learners. As it is commonly said, the R or W type of learners, they love words, written instructions, manuals, reports and emails and PowerPoint, the written part of it, the writing, the listing element part of it, essays and all. They prefer the words whether to read, write. These learners also would read the things as they learn. The fourth type of learners is called the kinesthetic learners. Now these kind of learners are the ones who learn things by doing, by practically involving in certain things. They love role plays. They would love to be a part of a kind of activity. They like practicing. They like sharing things with activities. We have seen 4 different kinds of learners. One is the visual learner who learns by looking at things by the eyesight. The second type of learners is auditory learners. They learn things by hearing. The third type, as you may recall, is the reading and writing learners. They learn things by writing things carefully and reading it aloud to learn things. The fourth type of learners are practical oriented learners. They love to learn things by doing things practically. In our day-to-day lives, in our practical lives, in our personal lives, you will find that this kind of learners are there in every session that we meet. If you're going to talk to a group of people, even in your office or your workplace, or in a classroom session, or your trainees group, always remember to cater to the needs of these 4 types of learners, because they will be looking for different elements of these type of learners have their own preferences. Now, how can you identify the preference of learners? That is one question which is to be thought of. In the notes section, you will find some links in which you can identify what is your preferred style. There's a few questionnaires which are given to you, which will help you to identify what kind of a learner you are, or like to see what kind of learning style is better for your kid. This can be easily identified by looking at this questionnaire and then finding out what is the preferred style for this kind of learners. Now, having said the VARK style of learning, please note that this is not a comprehensive method to say that this is the only learning style. There are different elements that affect learning habits, such as, if you're a morning learner, they say people are of 2 kinds, the larks and the owl. Some people learn well when they are like early morning. They wake up early morning, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, they learn well. Whereas some learners prefer the quietness of the night for learning. I've seen all this kind of learners in my life. So there are other elements also that affects the learning style. Just like we have our own preferences, these kinds of learners have their own preferences. It doesn't mean one learner is better than the other, one style of learning is better than the other. It is their choice. But it's important, it's useful to identify what kind of a learner you are in order to expose yourself more towards this kind of learning materials that will improve your input of learning. Your internalization or the concept of learning will be much better if you focus on this type of learning habits. Some people have equal predominance to more than one style of learning. Okay, I wish I had learned this in my school days and college days. I must tell you that I learned quite late. And when I learned it, I found that now I have certain preferred style. I might be a learner who is having multiple learning styles, like you have multi-modal learning styles. You might also have certain preferences by looking at the neuro-linguistic programming, that is, what is your preferred area of learning or preferred choice of sitting in a particular place. Now these are also affecting our learning styles, not to forget these, but you might have an equally equally dominating auditory and visual senses for learning. That's fine, that's up to you. This video talks about the 4 different kinds of learning styles, namely visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic. I hope this video was useful to you. Please share this video with others so many of us can be better learners in the future.